what's up, everybody? Welcome to one of the first live streams we've had in a very long time on Neckbeard Sports. I gave the people what they wanted, which is changing the name of the channel to that, and it's just so funny. It looks like everybody on here has some sort of a neck beard today, so it looks like we're right on cue. But anyways, I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves real quick. I'll start off with you, JPC, then moving down to Zach. So JPC, take it away. Let everybody know where they can find you. Or my bad. Prime time. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Let me take my con time Deion Sanders glasses off real quick. Oh, there we go. Now I can see through the bullshit. That's right. You can find me on YouTube, Outlaw College Football. I can also be found on Twitter, aka X, at OCF Productions.
All right, Zach.
I am Razorback Zach from Inside the Hog Pen. You can find me on Twitter, Razorback Zach 1. You can find me and my crew at Inside the Hog Pen anywhere on social media.
All right, so jumping into this, we already got some people in here in the chat. What is the old man glasses the Outlaw's wearing? That's his new primetime glasses.
That's my con time. Get it right. Con time.
So, and then we have some politically correct comments already coming in here. Boomer, yeah, we'll go with Texas. We're in here today to do something very fun. We're going to create a tier list, right, of the SEC football teams.
That's
from the best going down to dumpster fire. So we need everybody in the comments' help to let us know where you would rank these teams. We're going to be talking about possible Big 12 movement, right, coming from multiple sources here. Nothing that's in works as of the moment, preliminary talks and stuff like that. And, of course, we got Razorback Zach on here to discuss, well, Sam Pittman, his hot seat, and Bobby Petrino, because JPC alluded to me that he thinks that Bobby Petrino could be a head coach in waiting. So, per se. But either way, we'll start off with the Bobby Petrino and Sam Pittman thing. Zach, you haven't been on here in a very long time. I need to know your thoughts, man, on Sam Pittman. Is he on this hot seat? What's going on? They just gave him a humongous contract, a year and a half ago?
A year and a half ago. And
so, yeah, get your take on that.
Yes, 1,000%. Yes, he is on the hot seat because 9-3 2 years ago with a Outback Bowl win, and then it's on a slippery slope. Especially last year. Last year we had the talent, not necessarily to even sniff the national championship, but to actually make a decent bowl game at probably a New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah,
but we all know what happened, and all we heard from him, and I don't know if the rest of the conference ever saw any of these clips, but I don't know became his slogan.
That's not a good slogan.
He would honestly come out and on his Monday morning press conference and go, "I don't know what happened."
Yeah,
yes, Jay, 1,000%. Sam Pittman is on the hot seat.
Now, my next question to you is going to be, is Bobby Petrino the head coach in waiting? We know what happened with Bobby 12 years ago. We know about the secretary on the back of his motorcycle, everything else. Like you mentioned before off air, is it full circle? Is it Bobby Petrino's time to start taking over if Sam Pittman does get terminated?
That's a good question, Jay, and that's something that MC and I have kind of rolled around. MC being my co-host on Inside the Hog Pen. That's something that he and I have rolled around a lot. I don't think he wants to be a head coach again. I think since he's gotten up there in age, I think he's good in a coordinator spot because the rigors of recruiting and everything else. It's possible if he can be enticed. It would definitely heat up our fan base if he somehow became head coach again. I don't see it. I thought it was going to be, if anybody, I thought it was going to be Barry Odom before he took the head coaching job out west. But it remains to be seen. And honestly, I've yet to see anything impressive from the Bobby Petrino offense that we've heard so much about.
JBC, your take on this?
Yeah, well, I told you that I thought, Bob Petrino may have been brought in specifically to take over for Sam Pittman when they release him in the middle of the season, because they've gotten to where nowadays they don't wait to the end of the season. The protocol was to wait till the end of the season. That's out the door. They don't do it anymore. ever since Les Miles' grass-eating ass got fired in the middle of the year. It's been that way. So I'm not sure what Arkansas's schedule looks like the first 4 or 5 games, but I'm thinking if they start bad, if they start out 2-3 or 1-4, I could see them firing Sam Pittman and bringing in Petrino as an interim coach. And then if he does well, just keep him on, because we all know Bob Petrino had great success at Arkansas. If that crap hadn't happened, Arkansas was contending for national championships, to be quite honest with you. I remember when it was Alabama was number 1 and LSU might have been number 2 and Arkansas was number 3 in the national poll. So the guy knows how to win in Arkansas. So I think it would be a good thing. He made a mistake. Forgive me, man. Let's move on, man. Bring him back.
JPC, our first 4 games look like this. It's Arkansas, Pine Bluff. It is Oklahoma State, UAB, and then Auburn is our first conference game. So we should be, for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I might actually kill my co-host on the show tonight, because I'm gonna go 3-1 going into Auburn.
3-1 going into Auburn.
I'm sorry, 2-1.
2-1.
I'm not doing this to aggravate or troll, but you need to watch out for UAB.
Yeah, and damn it, you took it right out of my mouth, man. My question was going to be, if UAB beats Arkansas, is there a real possibility that Arkansas gets rid of Sam Pittman on the spot?
I don't think he'll have a job by Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I was on the Sam Pittman train for years, and last year I just lost confidence. I mean, I said it on this show just a few years ago. On this very show, I defended Sam Pittman, and
Same.
I'm not sold on him this year. I mean, Jay, you and I were talking before the show. We've got a walk-on wide receiver that's my age, and I'm 37 freaking years old.
Well, you can support somebody until they don't deserve to be supported. Sort of like the Democratic thing that's going on with Joe Biden. Even the Democrats can't support him anymore.
Well, I mean, a perfect example of that as an Alabama fan would be Mike Shula.
Exactly.
I mean, he's the perfect example. A lot of people wanted all the hype in the world for Mike Shula. Why? He's an alma mater. It just lined up, right? It was supposed to be that guy, and it never happened. And me, I was really like indoctrinated into the Shula era into college football as far as Alabama goes, because I was so young in the 90s. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to remember Stallings and all that going on. Whereas Shula and all, you know what I mean? I would say early 2000s was my indoctrination into Alabama football. So, but yeah, it's pretty wild. But let's get to some of these comments real quick. Truck and John says, hello, guys. You got Jesse Thurman on here. Bobby P, unfortunately, will be without a job after Pittman gets canned. My bet is Pittman is gone after Tennessee week, an entire new staff during the off season.
I don't think
Shout out Jesse Thurman. He's my producer on Wednesday nights.
So there you go. Right there, right away. Rye guy, good evening. What's going on, man? Coming over from, I'm assuming, the OCF's channel, Outlaw College Football. I can't believe I said West Virginia should go to the ACC. I meant the SEC.
Right, that's an Oregon guy. He's a duck.
Yeah.
All right, I like this comment. This is funny.
David Woods, well, how's the Arkansas women's volleyball team, and do they like Harleys? There you go.
Well,
they're not bad. They were close to a national. They got knocked out last year in the NCAA tournament by the would-be national champions. So
Jonathan likes going to volleyball practices and watching women.
So we got to talk about a story that happened when I visited Tuscaloosa a couple of years ago. So I go up there to visit Jesse, right? I stay up there for like 4 days, something like that.
That's right.
4 or 5 days in Tuscaloosa, and I wanted to go to the Paul W. Bryant Museum. I wanted to go see all the works, and at the time there was no real sporting events going on in basketball. I don't believe basketball was in season, football wasn't in season, but we were walking around and we saw a poster that said tonight volleyball game, Alabama versus I forgot who it was, but either way there was a volleyball game that night. But I didn't pay attention to the date. So we end up going to the place where they play the volleyball. I don't know the name of the place or the building it's called, JPC. I don't know if you remember off the top of your head.
It's Foster's Auditorium.
Foster's Auditorium, there you go. And so we go up there, and there's nobody there. Right? There's a parking lot with a couple cars, and we're like, well, not a lot of people probably come to volleyball games. So we go in there and we climb up in the stands. Me and him both are terrified of heights. And the way the stands are set up there, it's pretty steep. So we go and sit down and we notice like, hey, there's not many people here, but the volleyball team is down on the floor. So we're like, okay, the game should still go on, right? Like should be playing. And we sit there and the volleyball team just starts playing, but they're practicing. So, and then it hits us and I get on the phone and I realize I have the date wrong. And what it was just them during practice. So you have two guys in the stands, right, by themselves watching the volleyball team practice.
And videoing them.
And we're videoing them.
Probably like two perverts.
I have never felt so uncomfortable in my life. It's one of the wildest things I've seen. So, yeah, I'm an OCF guy. Thunder OU Sooner, same thing. I know coming over from the Outlaw College, we'll have a question before OU joins the SEC. Why does Arkansas fans have beef with OU fans? That sounds like a question for you, Zach.
You know, Arkansas and OU back in the Southwest Conference had a rivalry, but you know, if you were to ask, it depends on who you ask who Arkansas's rival is. So you've got old generation fans from 60s, 70s, 80s. They'd say Texas or Oklahoma because of the old Southwest Conference. You ask the guys in the 90s, LSU. You ask, you know, the new age ones, they say freaking everybody.
Yeah.
All right, because we can't win nothing. So it goes back to the old Southwest Conference back in the I want to say the 80s is when that kind of exploded. The 79 Orange Bowl, 80, one of those.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't realize is Oklahoma was in the Big 8, and Arkansas and Texas were in the Southwest, so they were in separate conferences. So
that's right. I'm mistaken.
Arkansas and Oklahoma didn't really play each other that much, so I don't see why. I've not heard anything bad from Arkansas fans about Oklahoma, to be honest with you.
They're beefing.
Really?
But then again,
you're a border state. You'd think they would put you all on the schedule together, but they didn't.
I know.
I think it's coming.
A nice rivalry.
I think it's coming, but the fans are clamoring for Texas.
Yeah, they are. That's because of what happened a couple of years ago when you guys mud stomped them. And
that was beautiful. Yeah, I was at that game. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that's what happens there. They love Harleys as much as Mike Gundy loves his alcohol. I know, right? Drinking, 3, 4, 5 beers 1,000 times.
Good Lord.
Like, we won't get into that. That's a whole separate conversation alone. Fred Bagley, hey guys, sorry I'm late. What's the word? What's going on, Fred Bagley, coming over from Outlaw College Football? Talk about Arkansas. Well, we just got done doing that pretty much. You'll have to go back a little bit later and check it out. Ryguy Oregon knows a thing or two about Harleys as well. Now you got to elaborate to me, Ryguy, on what you're talking about on this point, because I really don't know as far as when it comes to that. But with that being said, we got over 30 people in here now. We're going to start this tier list. And Ryguy says, I drink 4 out of 6 beers. I just do it at home. Exactly. We're ranking SEC teams. But before we do that, I'm waiting on my Red Bull to get here in a minute. There is news that came out here, guys, that the Big 12 is possibly adding 4 teams. This is, I would say, still in the rumor mill, but it's kind of being reported by pretty serious sources here. There's teams coming over from the ACC, and independent, possibly to the Big 12 in the future, depending on if they can get private funding and stuff like that. JPC, I want to let you start off on that while I get my Red Bulls real quick. So go ahead and elaborate on what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've done a video on that earlier today. Basically, a lot of people have been laughing at the thought that some of the ACC schools, Florida State and Clemson specifically, would consider going to the Big 12 because it would be like a lateral move. But it wouldn't really be a lateral move if Florida State and Clemson went over there, as well as and there's been rumors that Notre Dame may be in the mix. It would actually up the portfolio of the Big 12, and the Big 12 at that point would be more valuable, and at that point the money would be bigger. So yeah, it might be lateral right now, but bigger picture, if these 4 teams or 6 teams, however many come from the ACC, if you take the best teams out of the ACC and merge them with the existing Big 12, they could actually be very competitive with the Big Ten and the SEC at that point.
I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch the SEC. When the Big 12 lost Texas and Oklahoma, that's their two biggest moneymakers. And look at who they've all added since then. They've added BYU, they've added Houston, Cincinnati, and who's the other one? UCF, just to comp for Texas and OU. And now you're talking about possibly adding Florida State and Clemson. I can see it based because, West Virginia's in the Big 12, but does it really up the value and does that allow them to compete more with the Big 10 and the SEC? Because those are your two powerhouses right now.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's the only way the Big 12 survives. And, the two reported that are looking is Clemson and Florida State. But it's rumored that there are two more, and those other two are Miami and Notre Dame. The private funding is the big key behind it. Why? Because we know that the Big 12 is selling its name. And if the Big 12 is willing to sell its name, you best believe they could probably find somebody to buy out that ACC contract. If that does happen.
The Big 12 lost Texas and Oklahoma under a different commissioner. Brett Yormark has come in and basically saved that thing because they were on their deathbed. The Pac-12 could have killed them off, but they didn't do it. They chose to believe the Big Ten and go along with Kevin Warren's snaky ass and that little coalition they had, and then the Big Ten turns around and stabs them in the back and takes the teams from them.
Yeah, that was one of the wildest things I've seen. And it's funny because me and you, JPC, actually talked about that. Like, how much are you willing to trust these commissioners, right? The Pac-12 had a new commissioner. The Big Ten brings in a new commissioner. And sure enough, it's Kevin Warren, the guy that turns around, literally makes a pact with the Pac-12 on promising each other, we're not taking your teams, and then stabs them in the back.
Horse.
I mean, how do you?
I don't know if I can cuss on your show, Jay.
Yeah, you can. I don't know how that's possible. You can just get away with that. But getting back to the comments, and we'll move on over to this tier.
I do like Jesse Thurman's comment where it says the ACC will Pac-12 itself within 5 years.
Yeah.
I do believe that. Now, if you have
going that way,
if you take away Miami, if you take away not Notre Dame, Clemson, Florida State, if you take those away, put them in the Big 12. Yeah, the ACC is gone because who do you have left? North Carolina.
Yeah, and
Duke.
Got it.
And the SEC and the Big 10 are both interested in North Carolina.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be others to be taken with them. Virginia, right? You got Virginia Tech. You have those teams. Me personally, I want to go to a Virginia Tech game, even though I keep hearing that the Enter Sandman introduction is overrated. Still want to hear it.
That would be cool, though. That would be cool.
Like I said, the mascot rising. The duck rides the Harley on the field. I don't know how I didn't catch that. Yeah. I guess the Big Ten isn't interested in FSU. I don't think it has anything to do with AAU. Look, Jesse, you're going to get Jesse rolling here in a minute. I'm telling you right now, you're going to get him started on this AAU shit. It's the AAU is a farce. We already know that. It's just some elaborate way of saying that we want to keep you out of our exclusive conference, even though we know it has nothing to do with that and everything to do with money. But yeah.
Nebraska don't even have AAU status anymore. So why are they still in the Big Ten if that's the case?
Exactly. 100% true.
Notre Dame got accredited with AAU, and they're not even a research institution. So
that's a good point.
Here we go.
Southwest Airlines is the official airline of the SEC. This just keeps getting better.
Someone said that the SEC should buy the rights to the Big 12's name. We just make them our farm system.
Oh my Lord!
Hey,
the AAA.
That's right.
Football? Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
You're trying to burn people down tonight. Like FSU and Clemson would raise the 12 competition level. No, of course. If Florida State, Clemson, and we'll just hypothetically say Notre Dame and Miami go over, they're going to be in the conversation. They're going to make the playoffs. The Big 12 will become competitive to some extent. There's no doubt about it. How long that will last for, I don't know.
But Jay, okay, you pull in Florida State, Clemson. Yes, okay, they're going to make the playoffs, maybe.
Yeah,
but that's your powerhouse right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, and I get. Well, if you bring
And
over
what-
Notre Dame will make playoffs.
Well,
You're
yeah,
giving the benefit of the doubt.
those are your three, but I'm talking about the rest of the Big 12. Like Iowa, Kansas State, Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, it's back to the same thing. That's why I said basically losing Oklahoma, Texas. You're just bringing in a replacement to hypothetically try to make up the money gap.
I mean, you had to bring in 8 teams to cover the money gap. Come on now.
It's the mid-card 12 is what it is.
Right, said North Carolina wants to leave the ACC as well. Yeah, I don't blame them. Fred Bagley, SEC needs to pull in more B-ball powers. Oh, I mean, Alabama, Arkansas, looking pretty good. Tennessee's been on a roll lately. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched, but the SEC has been kind of sneaking their way in there. But I'm assuming you're alluding to maybe Kansas, North Carolina, right? So Duke. I personally don't care the AAU stuff. For some reason, Big Ten's obsessed with it. Like I said, it's just a way to try to make themselves look better. Moneyball. Yeah, you got to think differently.
I've always wanted to do a game in Fayetteville. Just random. Sorry, that was so random. But I've always wanted to come up there and do a game in Fayetteville.
All right, come on, man. It's a beautiful campus up there. It's a great atmosphere.
Hey, I love the cops, man. They sacked the hell out of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
I knew that was going to.
I knew that was coming. I was waiting on it when he brought up Fayetteville. I was like, here it comes.
I'm like, damn, Alabama needs they need them cops on our team. We can't catch Baker Mayfield, and they can.
Oh man,
that's great.
FSU fans would riot if they went to the Big 12. I don't really, because I think you would want to go to the Big 12 because I mean. I don't know. The ACC, I don't know, man. I am not a fan of Bobby Bowden when he made that presumption of it's just easier to get to the national championship to the ACC than the SEC. I would want to work into a competitive conference.
He was smart, though. So, he was right.
Yeah. When he made that comment, how many SEC teams, how many national titles does the SEC have right now since he made that comment versus the ACC teams?
Oh, no, it's
a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a ton. But, I mean, once again, do you want to be Notre Dame in 2011 where, I'll make the national championship, but then I get skull drug across the field? Do you want to be TCU? Washington, where it looks like you don't even belong on the same field? No, you don't want to be that. In my opinion, I don't want Alabama to go to a national championship and lose by 50 in front of tens of millions of people, right? So to get heckled for a whole year on Twitter, it's like losing the damn Auburn. At best, FSU will be 9-3.
Hey, you want to get me started? Let's talk about Auburn.
So 1989 posse announced what's going on, man. Another one from Outlaw College Football, bringing all the OU fans over into the channel now, it looks like. So, all right. So now, guys, we're going to get to more of the comments here in a little bit, but we got to do this tier maker. Because this is the whole point of this live stream is to cause chaos with not just within us, but this comment section. So with that being said, let me bring up the actual tier maker real quick, and I may have to do it.
Can I? I'm about to piss off all of Razorback Nation.
Oh
no, no, they may actually agree with me. Go ahead and put Arkansas in the dumpster fire for this year.
All right, you heard it here. So as you guys, let me take away here in the comments.
The key game for Arkansas is that Oklahoma State game. If y'all can beat Oklahoma State, I think it'll give y'all some confidence.
It'll give us confidence, but down the road, you got Auburn, you got LSU, you got Tennessee.
Yeah, you're right. The confidence can be taken away quickly in the SEC.
And let's not forget, in November, you got Texas.
Well, that's what Texas don't realize. We beat Alabama. Well, you got to beat 6 other teams that are built like Alabama. Can you beat 6 Alabamas in 1 year?
All right. So as you guys can see here, I have a tier list. Best, contender, have doubts, pretender, and dumpster fire. Before we get started, everybody in the comments, make sure share, mainly share here if you can, get more people in here. We want to create some chaos and subscribe to the channel. This is about to get really wild here, guys. Because as we know, nobody ever agrees on anything college football.
Saddle up.
And we, as a crew, have to build this list and come to some type of compromise, right? So let's start with the most obvious. And in the comments, please make sure you let us know what you think. right, and where you would put these guys at. The easiest one, let's just start off with Vanderbilt and put them in the dumpster fire. Can we three agree on that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move Vanderbilt's pretty little face over to the dumpster fire.
Now watch them being in line within the year.
Don't talk to me. Do not do this to me. All right. And we're talking about this upcoming season, guys. This is not just total. This is the SEC Championship rankings, right? So the SEC rankings. The best. I think, can we all three agree that Georgia should be at the top as one of the best?
The hedge pissers?
Yes,
Yeah.
the hedge pissers. JPC, yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. We got them at the top. All right. Now I feel like everything else in between is about to be total chaos. All right. Let's start off. I guess, who else would, starting off with you, JPC, who else would you put in the best? We'll say at most you can only put 2 in as the best. Who's the second team you would put in the best with Georgia?
Well, you're going to call me a homer, but I think Alabama's going to be just fine this year.
So you would put Alabama as one of the best.
That's right.
All right. Zach, what other team would you, if you had to pick one?
Oh, Arkansas, if I'm going to go the homer route, just like
Oh,
JPC.
no. We're not doing the homer route.
No. As much as I don't want to do it as an Arkansas fan, realistically speaking, you got to put Texas up there.
All right. So I'm going to actually tend to agree with Zach. I think it should be, I'm a Bama fan. So this is how unbiased we're trying to make this show here. And I know that JPC legitimately thinks that Alabama will be one of the best. And no, it's not really, I think, can be unbiased because there's a lot of proven points to be made.
I've grilled Nick Saban before. So I'm just saying, I'm unbiased.
Yeah, no, I got you. So that's why I said that. So yeah, I totally agree. Well, we'll get 2 out of 3. So we're 2 out of 3 trumps this. Texas is going up as best, but we get it. Jesse, our JPC here, he would put Alabama as one of the best here. This is really interesting.
Alabama's actually 8-1 against that team up there with the G.
Well,
yes, no, I know.
8-1.
Okay, so what if – okay, I'll compromise with JPC here and put Alabama in the first spot and the next tier down.
All right, so yeah, and we're not – yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll include, I guess, who would put first. So I will put Alabama next. That trumps kind of like everything else. So, yeah, he wanted them at the top. I agree with you 100%, Zach, on that. I would put Alabama next as well. And I know what I'm going to say. Go ahead, Jesse.
You're only going to have 2 people that are the best. Just 2 of them is all you.
Just two, because I believe it's like SEC championship game only should be 2 in there.
All right.
So I'm using that logic.
Now, keep in mind there are no divisions this year.
No, I know. That's why I'm using only 2 at the best, because you still got to have 2 in the national. Obviously, the SEC championship game.
It's going to be Georgia and Vanderbilt.
Shut up. All right. So the contender list. We're going to have 4 people, 3 to 4 people on this contender list. Alabama, we've already got in there. Is there anybody else that's kind of an obvious choice?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, I agree.
Ole Miss has got a mess of talent, dude.
Okay.
That might be – so here's the thing. I'll go out on a limb, and I'll say Ole Miss is probably the dark horse this year.
For national championship or winning the SEC?
Winning the SEC.
Would you put them in the national championship conversation?
Of course.
Of course.
I
think they're one of the –
they're a contender in the SEC. They're going to be a contender in the national playoffs, too.
Now, I got a question for both of you. Before we actually move on, I got to say something. Monty Kiffin passed away today. So that's why I have him up in the corner, by the way. I did not mention at the very beginning. I meant to. We're talking about Ole Miss. Monty Kiffin passes away. Unfortunately, Monty Kiffin was one of the few coaches that knew what he was doing. He didn't need to be a head coach. What did he do? He stayed in doing what he did best and loved doing the most, coaching defense, right? So something his son obviously could not learn from at the beginning of his career, talking about Lane Kiffin. Either way, Monty Kiffin was Lane Kiffin's defense coordinator when he was at Tennessee, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought when they almost beat Alabama. That 1 year Lane Kiffin was there. But either way, shout out to Monty Kiffin, RIP, his family, and all that good stuff. So I just wanted to say that before we moved on.
Ole Miss could actually be a real threat if Lane Kiffin can stop with the 4th down and 20s that he goes for.
But he can't. But that's my point. How many games has Lane? How many big games has Lane Kiffin won? Like Alabama, Georgia, all these games. He can't win the big games. It's hard for me to put them as a contender. It is. It's hard for me to put them as a contender, and I will do that because you guys trumped the vote 2 out of 3, and I do believe they should be in the contender spot. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about national championship conversation, I won't touch them with that because they don't win big games because of what Lane Kiffin does. 4th and 5 at your own 35, and let's go for it in the first quarter.
Maybe he's learned from his mistakes this year. And maybe, the passing of his father might be a little motivation for him.
Yeah. So just real quick to get some of these comments because I knew they'd be coming in with this. Texas is a pretender. They got against TCU and Houston last year. Texas is overrated. It's criminal. OU next to Bama. We're about to get into that. Ole Miss contender. We agreed on that. Missouri and Ole Miss. I'm assuming we're talking about contender here.
Forgot about Missouri. Missouri is a contender.
Thank you, Thunder OU Sooner. Thank you. What does Ole Miss do every year? They lose the big games. It never fails. So, but we said the same thing about Steve Sarkisian.
Ole Miss is one of the few teams that hasn't been to the SEC title game yet.
Like ever?
Ever.
Zero. I did not know that. All right. So getting back to the conversation, and we're going to have to jump back and forth between the comments. I knew the comments would be coming in like this when it came to this. All right. Back over here. The next one in line. Now, obviously, OU fans are saying OU should be next. What is you guys' thoughts on who should we put in the contender spot? Because
Well, first off, how many are you putting up there?
We'll say minimum 3, at most 4. You know what? We'll pause on that.
Maybe LSU.
You want LSU?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me because I don't like Brian Kelly, but I mean, they're always there. It seems like, man. So
I got my doubts with Missouri, putting Missouri up there as a contender.
You know what? And I'm going to agree. I didn't want to at the beginning, but I'm going to agree.
I know it really hurts. That really hurts you so much.
I hate Missouri.
I know you do.
You know what?
I can't stand Missouri.
To hell with it. I'll go OU.
As far as contender or have doubts? What's your take on Missouri, Zach? Is it have doubts or contender?
Have doubts.
Okay.
I'd actually, Missouri, in all honesty, though, I mean, I'd go pretender just because I hate Missouri.
Well, we're not doing that. We're saying realistically.
But realistically, I have doubts.
The reason I have doubts is because every time I pick Missouri, guys, I'm not biased against Missouri because I'm an Alabama fan. We don't have go watch Alabama play Missouri. We don't have a rivalry with Missouri, right?
Did you watch Arkansas, Missouri last year?
Well, I'm talking about Alabama. I'm talking about me as a bias. Yeah, but yes. So we're not going to get into that. Let me hide this real quick. Sorry. Get into that. Where would you put them, JPC? Would you put them in contender or have doubts? Missouri.
Well, based on what they've done last year, they were 11-2. And they look like they've improved every year under Drinkwitz. So I would consider them for contender because they were a contender last year. So,
all right. So
1 year, JP. 1 year.
I need to see. I'm just tired of picking them, and then they do nothing, and they fall flat. I'm tired of it. That's why I'm going to do it.
They don't care what you're tired of.
I don't care. We're going to see. When they fall flat this year, I don't want to hear it.
The Oklahoma fans give them a good nickname. They call them mid-poo.
Yeah, that is funny. Middle of the country.
Middle of the country, middle of nothing. Nobody cares about St. Louis or Kansas City.
JPC, LSU. You said you would put them in the contender spot?
I just got a lot of questions about their defense, man. I just don't know if I can put them up there.
Zach, where would you put LSU?
I got to go with JP on this one. I got questions about their defense. They may have it offensively, but I don't know about defense.
So
I'm on that fine line of you can put them either or.
So I'm assuming this is going to go over to JPC's account. It's coming over from that account. Old 56 timer getting the fellows with a $10 donation. If you have a question, make sure to put in there as you contributed.
Actually, it goes to your account because you're the creator of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, let us know if you got any questions. Obviously, old 56 timer. We're going through this tier maker. It's about to get really interesting as we're looking through all this right now. LSU, I think we can all. I want to put them in a contender spot, but I do have my doubts with LSU as well. So we're going to put LSU for now. Oh my gosh, in the have doubts section.
That's right.
We're going to have to add more people to the contender section. So with that being said, for the Oklahoma fans, what is it?
I mean, out of all those teams, Jay, I mean, who would you put in a contender spot out of the remaining teams?
Well, I mean,
you got two best and two contenders to the best. So,
all right. So
you may not need another one.
I guess you may not, but let's.
Oklahoma would be a contender, but I think their schedule is so tough, man. They got a pretty tough schedule. They did Texas a lot of favors. I think someone's placating to Texas, to be honest with you, because now they got the SEC media days over in Dallas.
So, yeah, I can't stand that. By the way,
Oklahoma schedule looks like this: Temple, Houston, and Tulane are your first three. Then it's Tennessee, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Maine, Missouri, Alabama, and then LSU to round it out.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Oklahoma has a killer schedule.
That last three, man. Them last three. Oh my goodness.
So Fred Bagley, look, OU is a contender. I mean, you're gonna have OU fans like, you know what I mean? I'm an Oklahoma fan, but put us down there with Vanderbilt like we were being overlooked and hated on. Like, I'm not hating on Oklahoma at all, but with you guys' schedule, holy crap, crazy. We got another donation here, guys. Appalachia African Twin. Keep your eyes on Tennessee. Outlaw Rocky Top is coming. Oh, looks like another one from the OCF channel. So thoughts on this? So we'll hold off 1 minute on Oklahoma, and then since we have a Tennessee fan in here, Tennessee. Where do you position Tennessee in all this? Obviously, you have the new QB and Nico. I can never say his last name. I just can't say it. Physical enable. What do you guys think about Tennessee, and where would you position him on this list? Tennessee's next.
Have doubts. I have my doubts.
I have doubts.
All right. Have doubts. Let's have doubts. There's a lot of teams we're having doubts about right now. So Oklahoma. With that being said, Oklahoma, what are we doing with them?
I told you I'd put him up. I'd put him up there with contender.
Yeah, I think because the first part of that schedule is a little easier, and they can slide into the beef of the schedule, that it might make it to where they get a fast start, get some confidence, and they'll probably end up being a contender.
Yeah,
at least until the end of the season.
That's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking at.
So Oklahoma basically taking Missouri, LSU, and Tennessee's cookies in year one by being on the contender list.
I mean, if I know I'm going back a couple of years, but when A&M and Missouri entered into the SEC their first year, who made it to the SEC championship?
Yeah, I know. Missouri won the SEC East first 2 years they were in, actually.
Exactly. So anything can happen.
That's right. That's a good point. If Missouri can do it, Oklahoma and Texas sure as hell can do it.
So we got Oklahoma and Texas coming in, one of them being one of the best, and then the next one being a contender. I mean, is the SEC being too nice to these guys? Like me, I want to.
This year? Yes.
I think it's a good year to come into the SEC. If you are Oklahoma and you are Texas, this is a good year to come into the SEC.
It is good because we had a lot of coaching changes too, right?
Exactly. Saban leaves, right? So you don't have to face that gauntlet every year.
Technically, Jay, Saban hasn't left. He's making $500,000 as an advisor.
You're right. He's
Visor.
standing behind. He's standing behind Kalen DeBoer. Oh man,
He's DeVore's pullback guy on the sideline. Hey, run this play.
More like, hey, recruit this guy. Recruit this guy. Recruit this guy.
I mean, if you're gonna look at strength of schedule this year alone, Arkansas's got the easiest schedule that they've had in the last 20 years, and the best we're gonna do is 3-9.
All right. So with that being said, Arkansas
Dumpster fire.
You would put them in dumpster fire?
I would put them above Vanderbilt in the dumpster fire. I'd put Vanderbilt as a pretender if I had to pick between the two.
Okay, yeah, we're not picking between the two though.
But yes,
so
Arkansas is a dumpster. Because let me explain why. Sam Pittman has lost the fan base. There is zero confidence in Pitt.
Holy
zero.
I think y'all could start fast, and it might.
Here's Arkansas' schedule.
So we'll see.
You know, I mean, you look at it, and yeah, the first 3 games you could go 3-0 going into conference. That might boost you a little bit. You can go 2-1, at best 2-1, and I think that loss is going to be to Oklahoma State, maybe.
Yeah. Winner of that Arkansas-Auburn game, that's going to be real important for both of those teams.
I hate to say this, but Auburn's winning that game.
As far as being able to be bowl eligible and stuff.
Screw you, Mark Curls. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. All right, so we have Arkansas in the dumpster fire by their own fan, by the way. That's what I'm talking about.
Look. For the fans that watch my show, they know I'm a realist. I tell it like it is. I'm not going to sunshine pump on a team that has no sunshine on it.
I won't hate on that. So, I mean.
So you're not going to tell them to go in the dark room and tell them the lights on. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not going to stare at the sky and go, hey, this sky's not blue.
But are you putting Arkansas as a dumpster fire too, Jonathan? Since it's a voting thing here.
I believe Arkansas is a pretender. But, I mean, he's the fan of the team. He's the lone fan on the show. Where would you put him at, JPC?
I'd make him a pretender, probably. A little bit further up.
All right, so we're going to give you
on that Auburn game. They beat Auburn. I think they can have a decent season. Go back.
I have a bad feeling they're going to get curb stomped by Auburn.
I'll be honest with you, I do too, because
I think they're going to. Honest to God, I think they're going to get curb stomped by Auburn.
I just have no faith in Sam Pittman anymore. I believe you're right.
I don't. I'm sorry, and I'm about to catch 9 kinds of hell when I come back for my season premiere in 3 weeks.
But y'all got the great Bobby Petrino in your team now, so
that's fine. But look at who his boss is.
All right, so
even my own producers agreeing with me, Jesse.
Yeah, sorry, y'all are delusional upon our Hogs as a pretender.
Well, when you say pretender, I'm thinking along the lines of maybe possibly contending for 6-6.
A pretender, no, a pretender is pretty much like someone that should have the vote of confidence. Not that they would win the SEC, but they'd be put in the conversation of being in these games, right?
Here's the thing.
Actually, you're right. I have to put them down. Now that I say that out loud, I can't.
Here's the thing, JPC. Here's the thing. Okay. 6-6 is a winning record for us.
That's right.
Okay.
If they go 6-6, that would make them a pretender.
That might buy Sam Pittman 1 more year.
They're not going 6-6.
They're not. I've got to look. I've looked at the schedule. My co-host MC's looked at the schedule. I have talked it over with my entire guys, with all of my guys there at ITHP. 3-9, 4-8. It's the best we're gonna do.
I can't argue that. I got to leave them in dumpster fire. I believe they can't. I believe Auburn's gonna beat them by 21. In all honesty, because after watching them last year, I don't have any faith in Sam. I went from a Sam Pittman faithful when he was 7-5. Like, okay, this guy's gonna turn it around. Exactly. We count on my show and sat here talked about he's going to turn things around, and
In fact, I came on after the Outback Bowl win.
Yeah.
And said we were SEC title contenders the following year.
So another donation here, Appalachia African Twin, $10 again. Thank you. Obviously much appreciated. As a Big 12 guy, West Virginia fan. Oh, got a West Virginia fan in here. I'm telling you, Texas is way overrated. Ask Will Greer in the horns down 2-point conversation. It's not the same Will Greer that was a quarterback, right?
Yeah,
Will Greer was
he's a Florida and West Virginia.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Dang, he's on the horns down. Anyways, I actually was a big fan of him. If it's the same Will Greer, look, I do want to think that Texas is overrated, but I know that I have too much belief in that Quinn Ewers is going to get better. You don't typically get worse coming into the next season. He was pretty damn good last year. When you look at who he's facing in that weak schedule, it's hard to make the argument they're going to lose in a lot of their games. The schedule is favoring Texas.
Right.
And I feel like that's what puts them up in the best conversation. If Texas had Oklahoma's schedule, they're no longer in the conversation of being the best. They're probably in a contender or maybe even have doubts because of how hard the schedule is.
Texas's first SEC road game is in Nashville.
Yeah, against Vanderbilt in front of 17 fans eating pretzels with mustard on them.
We should go to that game.
So, no, I'm not wasting my time and money.
We're going. Nashville's a great place to party, man.
All right, well, we got to put somebody in the pretender spot. I think I'm going to vote A&M.
A&M.
JPC, you agree with that?
Yeah, A&M pretends a lot, so yeah, that fits them. That's a great adjective for them. I think I'll use that in my next podcast.
All right, so the next one I'm going to vote, and I'm voting for the pretender spot, is going to be Kentucky. Every year, Kentucky makes a run. Every year they fall off.
The best they do is what? 8-4, 9-3. The occasional 10-2.
Like I'm done with it. I went to a Kentucky bowl game a couple of years ago in Jacksonville when they played NC State and beat them. That's how I got my Kentucky hat. But I'm done with Kentucky pretender status. You agree with that, Zach?
Oh yeah.
JPC.
Yeah, they start 5-0 every year and end up 7-5. So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So I'm tired of it. All right, Mississippi State. I'm sorry, I'm putting in dumpster fire.
Okay, why?
Why would you do that?
Not that I disagree with you. Not that I disagree with you, but
what did they do last year?
Weren't they like 2-10 or something?
Terrible. Okay, you get a brand new head coach. I get it. Jeff Levy is supposed to be something amazing coming out of Oklahoma. It's still a brand new head coach with who at the helm, with a brand new quarterback. Like, I'm sorry, and Jeff Levy's probably not going to improve the defense year one. I'm sorry. He's not a defensive guy. So, and that staff is not built to improve right now. I don't understand how you would even put them as a pretender. I don't see Mississippi State. They're maxing at 4 to 5 wins at most. That's just my opinion.
Sounds a lot like Colorado, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Colorado's overhyped.
Yeah, Colorado's way overhyped.
But we're here to talk about Mississippi State.
I agree. They're dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah. Mississippi State's dumpster fire.
All right. So now my last one, I'm going to vote for dumpster fire because I know it's going to piss some people off. South Carolina's a dumpster fire.
You're going to get in trouble, man.
Woo!
You know they say you can't beat those cocks.
I knew you were going to go there, JP. Come on.
All right. So
that's their motto, man. They actually say that crap, man. It's just like.
No, they don't. Tell me that.
Yeah, they do, man. I'm like, do y'all not realize how vulgar that sounds?
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So with that being said, where are we putting the Gamecocks?
I don't know if they're dumpster fire. I'd probably say pretender. Just
Zach, it's up to you. You're the vote that counts.
I think they'll win at least 4 or 5 games this year.
Okay, so put them up against my possible dumpster fire.
So you want them a dumpster fire?
No, he said put them up against Arkansas.
No.
Oh, like,
Put them up out of the 3 teams that remain, because I'm going Auburn as a pretender.
That's right.
all right. So, and I agree. So,
Okay. So
all three of us agree Auburn's a pretender.
It
So
comes
now
down.
Florida.
It comes down to these two. Okay.
I don't believe Florida's a dumpster fire. And the reason why I don't believe Florida is a dumpster fire is because it's Billy Napier, in my opinion. It's his year where he has to win at least a couple games. He's not going to have – I believe they won't make a bowl game. I don't believe they make a bowl game. But I believe they won't only win 2 or 3 games.
Well, even if they don't only win 2 or 3 games, their schedule is so horrendously tough.
Yeah, it
They
is.
could actually be one of the best 3-win teams in America.
Yeah, Florida has a really hard schedule.
Put Florida
So,
in
Those
in the
moral
Big-
victories are going to do them well.
Put Florida.
Roy,
Put Florida in the Big 12 or the ACC, and they win at least 8 games.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
a bold statement.
So
Yeah, probably.
who would you put where? Because at this rate, I'd put South Carolina as a dumpster fire, Florida as a pretender, on that very edge of being a dumpster fire / pretender.
I agree. I would put South Carolina dumpster fire and Florida pretender. What about you, JPC?
I'd have them as a pretender.
Florida?
Florida?
Yeah.
Well, Florida didn't have such a bad schedule. I'd put them in half doubts. But man, it's hard
Okay.
to get schedule, and I just don't know if I can do that.
So if that's the case, then I'll put them in at the very end of pretender,
That's
because
right.
that's where I feel like they deserve to be at this point. And then South Carolina ends up in the dumpster fire. So that's kind of how that works out. And we'll say South Carolina is in front of Arkansas's dumpster fire. Because your own fan called them a dumpster fire. So we're pinning that against them.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not
wish
saying you're wrong.
I
That's
wish
why
an
they're there.
Arkansas fan would tell me where I'm wrong.
He said
Another
you should-
Arkansas fan, just
he
tell
said
me
you
where I'm
should put
wrong.
them behind Vanderbilt too.
No, I wouldn't do that. You know what? I can't have Vanderbilt in front of nobody. Let's move them to the very back. All right, so we have our tier list. Let's jump into some of these comments to see what's going on here, because I know it's been flooded with comments, as you guys can see. We got Oklahoma will beat Texas this upcoming season again.
I'm
There we
sorry,
go.
Appalachia. I was just trolling a little bit. I didn't mean it.
Oregon, Rye Guy says we stole OU. So yes, Oregon took Dylan Gabriel, which I think immediately makes Oregon Big Ten contenders, if not national contenders. They're going to be at the top, in my opinion. Jesse Thurman, I believe, is an Auburn fan. It's at Jordan Harris, so Auburn by 30.
Jesse is not an Auburn fan.
No. Jesse's your yeah, my bad.
Jesse's my
bad.
producer.
He was the one talking down against Arkansas. So yeah,
Easy,
yeah.
Jesse. Easy. Don't come to
Yeah.
the computer and kill our boy.
I think Texas is just slightly. I would say yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. In all honesty, here, OU is 100% winning the Red River rivalry. Shorthorns going to lose in Ann Arbor. It was surprising. So that's hard, man. Even with 3 losses, you can still possibly make it because every team has a tough schedule. I think we can all kind of agree on that. Even Texas has, if you look at it, it's still a tough schedule. It's just who has the toughest of schedules. And when you look at it, Arkansas, Oklahoma, it's going to be hard to make it to Atlanta. Whereas Texas does not have it as bad.
Watch me eat my words at the end of the season, and Arkansas's got this amazing winning record.
Look, if that happens, I'm going to do what I did with Missouri. I'll just never claim them again. I'll just never talk about them.
You know,
I'll talk about them. It's just going to be one of those like, really? Did Auburn take 3 or 4 Pitt players? That I'm not. I know they took a couple. I don't know how many exactly. I have them at 5th. So who you're referring to, Duck Knight? So we got another Oregon fan in here, it looks like. Texas defense is terrible. Ewers will get hurt. I mean, look, I'm not going to count on somebody getting hurt. I'm not saying you're doing that, but I don't think their defense is terrible. I think it's not that great, but I wouldn't say
Yeah, no
terrible.
nation.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't seen anything. Appalachian African 20 again with a $5 donation. Appreciate it. Whoa, Outlaw. Let's hold up on the Big 12 bashing here. Outlaw is known. He is in the realm of people just thinking he smashes the Big 12. Yeah, JPC, go ahead, take it.
I wouldn't really smash them. I was just saying that Florida could win 7 or 8 games over there because I don't think the Big 12 is as tough a conference as the SEC. That's all.
Now, let me counter that with a question, Jay, if I could. Are you talking about current state of the Big 12 with the four new Houston, BYU, UCF?
Yeah, we're everything we're referring to as far as the Big 12 goes is referring to them now.
Yeah, current status. Now, if Texas and Oklahoma were still over there, it might be a little different. But
all right, so moving back up here, if there's any comments you guys want to point out, just click on them or let me know. Let's see.
Right. I put this one up at the very last one, the one about even if Ewers gets hurt, they still have Arch waiting in the wings. Look, man, Arch ain't gonna do nothing. He's making $2.2 million. He is fine riding the bench.
Yeah, he's
This boy don't look, man. The only reason he is where he is right now is because of his last name.
Did you watch the spring game? He killed it in the spring game. I disagree with him.
So did our transfer quarterback. Big whoop.
Yeah.
Your starting quarterback's gonna kill it in the spring game.
But here's
playing against each other.
Question for you: do you have Steve Sarkisian coaching your quarterback?
No.
Steve Sarkisian's pretty good at coaching quarterbacks. I don't like Texas, but damn it, you have to admit some things. When Lane Kiffin gets a hold of a quarterback.
Is there a brain on this kid's shoulders? He opted out of a video game. I'd rather play on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's the smartest guy. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying he's better than Quinn Ewers.
He definitely don't need the money. He comes from loyalty.
So. $2.2 million in NIL deals? Come on now.
No, he's going to take the money, but he don't need it.
Yeah, he definitely is not struggling, if I had to guess. And Florida's schedule, they'd be lucky to win 4 games. Florida has a rough schedule, and I would bring it up, but I can't bring up two here.
I got you. Hang on.
So you are what your record says. Yeah, I agree with you, right guy. Auburn will beat Florida. With Hugh Freeze there, I wouldn't put it against them.
All right, you ready?
I mean, I have Auburn ahead of Florida. Yeah, go ahead. This is Florida's schedule?
Florida schedule. Miami,
all right, go ahead with it.
Miami, Samford, A&M, Mississippi State, UCF, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State.
Name off the last 5 games?
Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State.
Bro, those could all be top 10 teams.
I'm gonna say what everybody here is thinking. Holy shit!
That is I have to give it. Florida has the hardest schedule. Those could all.
Oh yeah,
Georgia. All those could be top 10 teams.
Are they gonna have any players at the end of the year to play Florida State's my question. They're gonna be banged up to hell and back.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not gonna be able to survive anything to play a bowl game. If they even made a bowl game, they'd have to win the first 7 games. Or 6 games to win a bowl game because they're not winning the last 5. Okay, I didn't know Florida had it that bad, to be honest with you.
Didn't you have a Georgia guy on here by the name of Fanatic that said that Alabama was going to beat Georgia in Tuscaloosa this year?
Yeah, he
that
believes there's a possibility.
Make Alabama one of the best, right?
Well, it depends on. I mean, we're talking about us, not
I know. I'm just
other people.
I'm just messing with you.
Oh, okay. Just
don't suck your panties up and crack now.
Alabama. Look, man, the Saban era is over at Alabama. They'll be lucky to go 8-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Where the coach that just went to a national championship
with a Pac-12 team and got raped.
But they went to a national championship with a bunch of 3 stars.
Alabama's won national championships under 5 different head coaches, and they'll win one under a 6th different head coach. Because that's what we do.
True. Auburn will beat Oklahoma to go 5-0. But notice how Aiden does not move past the 5-0 stat. After the 5th game, there's no more conversation about football. Oregon is totally loaded. I agree with you. Oregon is loaded, and Oregon's going to continue to be loaded. Why? Because Dan Lanning is owning the West, just like he's been owning Lincoln Riley. Killer Breeze, whenever someone starts off saying, I'm not hating, but yeah, kind of. I just try not to like kill people like in that way. Kind of like the way I feel about Missouri. I'm not hating, but
But I hate them.
yeah, but I definitely strongly dislike them. So Arch knows Texas defense is all.
I think you need to give me and Hogpen a commission. We made you some money tonight.
Oh yeah, you can get a commission.
I'll take my 2 cents now. Thank you.
Commission on the nuts. It's gonna be a rematch again in December. Just saying, and we all know what happens when the team. Yeah, you're right. They don't win typically.
They don't.
Definitely, Killer Breeze. Let's see here. Oh, I'm coming. Don't worry. SEC national contenders have crazy schedules. Yeah, the whole SEC has crazy schedules, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's not easy to follow the GOAT. I agree it's not easy to follow the GOAT, but I think the way that Saban passed it was perfect because he wasn't declining. The state of the program wasn't declining.
I mean, in the what, 20 years he was there almost? How many?
16.
I mean, how many? What was his lowest record in that era? What, 9-3? Well, okay, his not counting his first season.
Oh, 10-3 was they never won less than 10 games after the first season.
That's my point.
Yeah, no, I'm not, and I'm not saying Kalen DeBoer is going to be Nick Saban. I'm not saying that. I think.
So let me
than Nick Saban.
Let me flip this around on the Alabama fan, JP. Watch this. Okay, as an Alabama fan, if y'all go 9-3, does the fan base implode on Caleb DeBoer?
No.
There's always going to be that segment of a fan base that embarrasses you. We will have that segment that will embarrass us. We bitch and whine and complain about it, but
they did it with Saban. We had people complaining when Saban was there winning national championships. So of course you're going to have them bitching and complaining. But my point is, Kalen DeBoer is walking into exactly what Kirby Smart walked into. It's a team that's constantly winning, constantly in the SEC championship game. Right? They're not in a decline. The recruiting was the biggest question mark. The recruiting was the biggest thing.
Who was the one, Jay? There was. Oh, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. It was when who was the quarterback before Jalen Milroe? Bryce. Was it Bryce?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. Okay.
Yeah.
He got hurt in the Arkansas game one year. They clocked a guy, one of your Alabama guys. They clocked him at 26 miles an hour on foot.
All right.
I think it was Milroe.
Milroe was he's the fastest player on the team.
Yeah, he's coming back. So I give the edge to Alabama there. That's why I put them in the first spot under contender.
Yeah,
because you
Milroe's
can.
Coming back.
And honest to God, you can swap Texas and Alabama. They're kind of 1 or 2 and 2A.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with that.
No, Texas and Georgia wasn't done no favors either. Everybody forgets their schedule's pretty tough. They got to play Texas and Alabama on the road.
Yeah, no. Of course, they got a hard schedule, but I think when you look at because Georgia's coaching staff is consistent and they returned most of their starters, I believe you just almost like you have to assume they're going to continue business as usual.
Exactly.
Not saying they're going to win a national championship.
They could lose those 2 games.
I mean, put them in the top.
They could.
Put them in the top spot until you're convinced otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Until they show you they're not. I mean,
because here's what's dangerous. I know people, especially SEC fans, that's not Alabama fans, do not want to hear this. What's dangerous is the fact that once again the turnover of Alabama to Kalen DeBoer. We have 3 head coaches as coaches, right? So we went off and got 2 head coaches and put them as coordinators. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand what Alabama did when they still have Nick Saban in the background there on the staff. So if they turn around And like David Wood says, DeBoer doesn't lose. Same thing with the Duck Knight, I believe. He said the same thing. Like, if he turns around and wins the SEC, or God forbid, be in the national championship or win the national championship, good luck to the rest of the SEC, because the recruiting is not falling off. Go look at the 2025 recruiting class. I mean, we just had a quarterback swap from SMU to Alabama, and he just got upgraded to a 5-star yesterday. That won the Elite 11 camp. If there's one thing that Kalen DeBoer can do, it's coach quarterbacks and coach the offense. The biggest question mark is going to be the defense.
Okay, but we brought in a guy from the state of, I want to say state of Texas, who was a 5-star. The minute he got hit, the minute he committed to Arkansas, free.
Yeah, you're gonna have those things happen, but this guy's won every single camp he's been to. You can't say he's won 5 out of the 5 camps he's attended, and he doesn't deserve to be a 5-star.
Well, no,
because that would be insane at that point. But yes, I do believe there is a bias to where when somebody commits to Alabama, when somebody commits to Ohio State, you know what I mean? Back when Clemson was running their thing to the Wild, I believe there was a favoritism to slightly bump a couple points possibly. But you see what Kalen DeBoer has done with 3-stars. If he can develop a 5-star at the same rate, or 4-stars, which he's going to have on his staff, good luck to the rest of the SEC. And he knows how to build a staff, by the way, because he hasn't done it at one place. He's done it everywhere he's been.
Where was he at before Washington?
He was at Fresno. Was it
Fresno?
It was Fresno, right, JPC?
Fresno State was the team he was at before Washington.
Yeah, Fresno. So he was at Fresno State and then Sioux Falls, and he's built a powerhouse staff everywhere he's been. So he's brought in people everywhere he's had to go.
People make fun of him being at Sioux Falls, but they didn't have scholarships, and you can evaluate well enough to bring in players to win without scholarships. That should be saying a compliment, right?
Yeah, there's multiple national championships at Sioux Falls. I mean, once again, at Sioux Falls, but like you said, you're still evaluating.
I mean, a national title is a national title, regardless of what level you're on.
Like Fred Bagley says, yeah, Saban is still around. So we got the Duck. Now, I agree. I'd switch Bama and Texas. I mean, I can't, because it's a whole brand new staff, as much as I want to have faith in it. But if those two below me agree, I'd have to swap it.
I'm going to switch Arkansas and Auburn. Auburn's going to be a dumpster fire.
Really?
About that.
They're not going to be a dumpster. You don't even believe that.
Come on. You're going to – no. I smell bullshit.
Set that shit on fire.
All right, Zach, I got one for you. Is the sentiment around Hawk fans that Petrino was just waiting to be promoted to head coach after they fire Pittman?
Do you think that some Arkansas fans might actually want Sam Pittman to lose so that Bob Petrino can take over?
But here's the thing. There is no guarantee Bobby P is going to be head coach.
There ain't no guarantee, but I just find it awful coincidental they bring him in when the guy's about to be fired.
Well, they brought in Barry Odom.
Exactly.
And look at where he's at.
They're trying to I think. They're getting ready to get rid of Pittman. That's what I think.
Well, if that were the case, he wouldn't have brought in Barry Odom.
Barry Odom's a good coach. Anybody would bring Barry Odom in.
Yeah, but if Pitt gets fired, that whole staff goes with him.
Bob Petrino's on a different level than Barry Odom.
I agree with that. But
winning percentage.
I do not think that Bobby P will be named head coach.
I have to disagree.
Dang. Fred Bagley says,
I think you might want to hope that he does, man, because I think he can bring y'all back.
He might be named interim.
I think it would be a good thing for Arkansas. As long as he keep his jack in the box, everything will be straight.
Keep him away from the volleyball team and bikes. I got you.
He's a great coach, man. He may not be the best person in the world, but he's a great coach.
We see that all too often.
I think he's redeemed himself, though. You know,
I do
12 years.
I think he's redeemed himself because, and this is we've seen bits and pieces of him during practice, during summer workouts and stuff, and even during spring practice. This is a very humbled Bobby Petrino that we've seen, different than what we've seen at Louisville different than when he was at Arkansas.
You lose your job a couple times and it'll do that to you, right?
So
Actually,
David
Bob
Wood says
he done really good at Western Kentucky when he was there, right?
yeah, he did pretty good there. OU first year QB, Missouri senior proven. Yeah, but you're not going to win all your games based on your QB. You have other factors, like an entire team. That's the thing about, and I agree. I actually like. Is it Brady Cooper? I believe is his name. I think he's one of the better QBs in the nation. I would put him above Shedeur Sanders. I think he's more efficient. So
You're going to try to look. One of my guys said earlier this morning that Shedeur Sanders is the highest rated quarterback in college football.
What did he say?
He said that Shedeur Sanders was rated. He said he saw where Shedeur Sanders was the highest rated quarterback.
Yes, he is on NCAA football. He is the highest rated one. Which
like
is
you can't tell me there's another quarterback out there that's better than him.
I'll put Brady Cooper. I'll put Missouri QB above him.
I mean, hell, I'll even go Jalen Milroe.
Man, that EA sports game is stupid. They put Colorado in the top 10.
I'm not gonna. Well, they put him as the 17th best team, which I mean, even then, people said it was way overrated. They said they shouldn't have been in the top 25. And they won 4 games. How do you disagree with that? Even if you slightly improve, you wouldn't win 5 games.
If you're gonna be the devil's advocate for con time, he did quadruple their win total. I mean, they won 1 game last year.
You know what? I don't want to hear that because I made the same argument as Lincoln Riley in USC because people said, well, Lincoln Riley had to take over for Clay Helton. But he brought over all of AU. He brought over Oklahoma's staff. Their godlike quarterback, right? What's his name? Mario Williams, the wide receiver, went with him. I think Jordan Addison came over from Pitt, right? Best wide receiver in college football. Just won the award. Like Gentry, one of the best linebackers.
Lincoln Riley's still trying to build that wall around California. He claimed he was going to build.
Yeah. Well,
can't even build a wall around L.A.
You're right. Because one of their best QBs just committed to Oklahoma. Jaden O'Neal out of Arbor City, which is in L.A.
Well, let's not bring up Oregon. How many times Oregon has emasculated USC? Oregon owns their ass.
Dan Lanning right now is making work of USC in the West Coast. Coos in the house. Thanks for showing up. Bobby P couldn't win at Louisville last time.
But he did win at Western Kentucky.
Here's the argument that I've heard from Louisville fans when Bobby P was there last time. Lamar Jackson.
I mean, Lamar Jackson was amazing. He's still amazing in the NFL, in my opinion.
That's their whole argument, though.
But who got Lamar Jackson?
Was that?
I don't know. I'm seriously asking.
I don't know either. I don't know either.
I think it was Bobby Petrino that went and got him, though. I could be wrong.
Who was the last coach before Bob Petrino that had Arkansas in the top 5?
Oh, that had Arkansas in the top 5?
Yeah, Bob Petrino had Arkansas in the top 5. And then
Houston Nutt had that.
Houston Nutt was the coach.
Yeah,
the last coach before Bobby P. Had him in the top 5 with D-Mac, Felix Jones, Peyton Hillis.
Yeah,
that was 04.
Right?
Yeah, it was 2004 because it was the year Auburn went undefeated but didn't make the national championship.
Houston Nutt just wasn't consistent enough.
I mean, yeah, and Houston Nutt's problem was a lot of Arkansas's biggest in-state talent left state, and I believe
which is Sam Pittman's problem now.
Yeah,
when you lose 4 in-state guys, 4 big-name, highly rated in-state guys within a week,
yeah, you get problems.
Wrong. Oh, no. 1989M has a question for me. Is it okay if I answer that?
Yeah. Go bring it up. Click on. If you guys see something, click it.
All right.
Well, I know you can't, Zach, but yeah, if you can.
Now he wants to know Shedeur's nicknames. I call him Sackazulu Sanders because he gets sacked all the damn time.
He was the most sacked quarterback. Oh man, yeah. In Houston, that is definitely the correct answer. And wasn't Arkansas top 5 when they played Tennessee in '98?
Yes.
That was that infamous Casey Dick fumble, right?
No,
Or not.
Clint
Not Casey
Sterner
Dick,
fumble.
Clint Sterner. Yeah. I knew it started with Clint. I just didn't know his last name.
Clint Sterner, because we got redemption. It was called the 99 redemption game was the following year.
That game right there, man. I hate that. I still hate that to this day, man, because I hate Tennessee, man. I was happy as hell. I was like, hell yeah, they're going to cost Tennessee a national championship.
That just so if I can do a shameless plug, Jay, about this, because so coming up on ITHP, we're recording a podcast here in the next week called the Arkansas Curse, and it's something that my co-host MC's been working on for months now, that ties this supposed curse around the athletic program all the way back to the 69 shootout. He can connect the dots from the 69 shootout all the way to Sam Pittman.
Dude, it's
wild.
let me know when you guys do that. You guys gonna do it live or just
I don't want to put my producer or my co-host on the spot.
Okay, well, let me know if you do it live and I'll watch it live. You know what I mean? So
I think we're actually going to record that one.
Pre-record? Yeah. For something like that, you'd probably be best doing pre-record. David Wood says, Bobby recruited all types of talent at Louisville. He did. So, Killer Breeze, hope y'all's community. Yeah, Texas and even Oklahoma and Arkansas got slammed by Hurricane Barrel.
Oh, my God, dude. It got crazy.
Y'all get tornadoes up here in Arkansas for that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We had over 100 tornado warnings from Barrel.
I figured that's what would happen.
Hey, I can't click.
Which one is it?
Justin Goss. The two right above Kuz's comment. Go one more up. That one. That says a lot right there. You can't keep in-state defensive backs.
Yeah,
when you can't keep two DBs and they go to Oklahoma, you need to start looking take a long, hard look at the program.
Well, it's not like Arkansas is a big state geographically either, so you should be able to keep the talent there.
That's my point, JP. Is if you're losing guys to out of state, something's wrong.
Yeah. We already said RIP to Monty Kiffin. In case you guys didn't hear, for anybody got in here recently, Monty Kiffin did pass away. Famous defense coordinator, obviously, he was, I believe, at Ole Miss last, but could be wrong there.
Yes, that's 100% correct. Michael, I'm gonna destroy his last name, so we're just gonna call him Michael.
Good, corner. Thanks, man. Yeah, make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button, everybody. Please, to get everything out there. Just clicked here. Arkansas will be a more interesting rivalry than OU, Missouri. Lots of shared coaching history between OU and Arkansas. Yeah, lots of people in Eastern Oklahoma went to school in Arkansas. Yep. Yeah, and I went to high school in Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is really close to Oklahoma. So let's see here.
But yeah, Michael is dead on with that.
Let's see here. Why don't I see Koo's comments in the comments section? I have no idea. Killer Breeze, probably because you're eating corn dogs and he has you blocked.
He probably does have him blocked.
Yeah. Really? Oh, here we go. Let's start a rivalry on here.
Or either Killer Breeze is playing off and he's got him blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm scrolling these comments.
I think Killer Breeze's word you're gonna bring Numbskull News up in here again.
Oh, Jesus. Look. That was wild.
She look like Jerry Springer now, man.
Pulling up one from earlier here. Here's a promising stat. Texas offense only scored 14 on Oklahoma last season, 16 on our special teams. More food for thought. Yeah. But I mean, it's a different year, man. Coming into this year, it's different. He said, Coos blocked me.
Coos said he's watching it from your channel, and that's why he can't see it.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, because I'm watching on Neckbeard's channel. That's why. Yeah.
So you need to go there and subscribe to Neckbeard's channel.
Yeah.
So you can see it.
Let's see here. I can't see.
Y'all make sure you subscribe to Hogpen as well.
So let's see here. Make sure you subscribe because I'm the one hosting the live stream on my channel. So Neckbeard Sports. It's not good enough just to have a beard. It's got to be on your neck. Remember that.
Nobody can see Coos.
How were you able to do it? How are you able to grow hair right here and right up here? Because I can't grow it up here, man. My hair is bald as hell, man.
So
I would give this right here up if I could grow hair on my head again.
I have these great genetics, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's just great genetics.
Look, I can grow a damn neck beard, but I can't grow shit right here.
Oh, welcome to the club.
Oh.
That's why I named my channel Neckbeard Sports.
It started off as a joke because he was making fun of me not coloring my beard.
Yeah.
I called him Neckbeard.
And like everybody and their mother took off with it. Yeah, Cruz, I love the new name. Oh man, I've had a lot of people actually message me, like literally message me directly, like, "Did you change the name of your channel?"
Yeah,
everybody did.
My guys were talking about it before we shared the link for our fans. One of my guys texted me and he goes, "Neckbeard? Are you sure that's right?" I said, "Yeah, that's right."
I could have changed it to Dirty Sanchez.
I thought Numbskull was going to be awesome for the channel, to be honest.
Coos thinks he's John Cena.
Quick. I know, right? Wait till more hair grows out your ears and anywhere else. No, I don't want those days coming, man. I'm 38.
You can't see me.
Coos, you can't see me. Oh, he's pulling the whole Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
What the hell you think we playing, peekaboo?
There it is. Cena music plays with the Coos coming out. Oh man, thank you again. Watch out, you win for the $5 donation. You're not bald outlaw. It's a solar panel for a love machine. Oh my god!
Yes.
I think that comment is going on one of these thumbnails or whatever. That is one of the best comments I think I've ever seen on my channel.
That is great.
It is a solar panel for a love machine. Oh my gosh, man. That is a great. Some of the best comments I've seen. Oh, let me see if there's any news out there as far as recruiting or anything else to get into before we get off here. Oh man. That comment got me, I'm not gonna lie. Man, there's not a lot going on. I mean, let's see here.
Dave Wood said he's got the horseshoe style.
The horseshoe style.
Called
It
the Paul
happens.
Feinbaum handlebar look.
Well, okay, since we're on my channel here, give me you guys' take on what Mike Gundy said. And Zach, you know what I'm talking about?
I know who Mike Gundy is. I'm not. What did he say? Give me a refresher.
All right, so Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma State running back, gets pulled over, gets a DUI for blowing a point or a one.
Right.
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 You knew that. Mike Gundy goes, well, I evaluated everything, and he's like, if that's the case, I've done it 1,000 times. He literally said, I've done it 1,000 times. I just got lucky and didn't get caught. What is your thoughts on that?
This guy's a dumbass.
Give his whole team a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you can go drink 4 or 5 beers and blow up. You're going to get a DUI, and it's fine because I've done it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
That was my take on it.
Well, I can explain to you, back in his day, it wasn't illegal to do that. Now it is, you know. Back then, it wasn't against the law to drink that many beers and drive.
God made some head sexies. The rest he covered with hair. I think Coos could be bald.
Yeah.
Making that statement.
Like he's saying you got something covered up there. You got like
No.
You got one of them heads that's got like craters in it and shit.
No, I don't think so. I thought it said
heads we got craters on it.
Outlaws now the machine.
You got one of them Jason Voorhees heads.
All right, here's actually a good question, Justin Goss. Who's the better rival, OU versus Texas, Bama versus Auburn? Look, I'm going to start this one off. Okay, I have to say this. OU and Texas play at a state fair where you eat corn dogs and turkey legs at 11 a.m.
It's 2:30 now. I think they're
2:30.
I think they're moving it to 2:30.
So the fact that your rivalry is hosted at a state fair to bring in more people, I think it would max them out. I think they'd fill the stadium either way. But to compare that rivalry to Alabama-Auburn, I don't think there's a comparison in my opinion. But it's Alabama-Auburn easily. That's just my opinion. We don't host state fairs and stuff like that. All rivalries get so intense that they have to cancel the rivalry for multiple years. And people have been. I'm not. Go ahead.
They went without playing each other for 40 years.
Yeah.
Alabama and Auburn did. They hated each other so much. Sort of sound like Texas and Texas A&M.
It's the hate between those two. It's deep because people have been killed. Look, I'm not proud of that, but
Justin
rivalry's
Goss,
deep.
Justin Goss says it's not. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. We have all drink and drive. Not me. I can't say that.
No, I don't drink and drive.
I don't drink at all.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite here. I have drunk 2 or 3 beers before and drove home.
Me, it's just I guess because I was in the military, I was scared of getting kicked out. And the quickest way to get kicked out of the military when you're in,
get a DUI.
Get a DUI.
Get a
That's the fastest way out.
Yep.
I've never driven shit faced, but
whenever they gave, so this is kind of off topic here, Jay. Whenever they gave the safety brief when I was in, first thing they said was, "Do not get a DUI. If you want to be back Monday, do not get a DUI."
Yeah. It's the quickest way to get promoted downwards. That's what I said. What game are y'all most looking forward to this year? That's actually a really good question. As an Alabama fan, I always look forward to playing Georgia in the regular season. But Zach, go ahead. Give me your game that you look forward to the most this year.
Oh, Texas, hands down.
Arkansas, Texas.
Yeah. No. Okay. No, we talking all the college, like we talking like all SEC.
Both. We'll give us both.
Oh, Arkansas, Texas, and probably anything on Florida's schedule.
So they get dominated.
I just want to see LSU beat the shit out of Lincoln Riley in Las Vegas because they tried to back out of that game.
Oh, that is a good one. That is actually a really good one.
And then they did get out of the Ole Miss game.
They did. After 12 with another donation at Kuz's Corner, you might be bald, but you're still prettier than socks on a rooster. Oh my gosh, that's what I'm talking about. We're getting out there with these comments.
Cox are going to put some socks on their legs and come up there and kick Jonathan's ass, putting them in that dumpster fire. Jonathan Cox are going to be cooked.
Oh man, exactly. David Wood. I agree. As an Uber driver, and we have another Uber driver on here in JPC. Agreed. If you drink, just call an Uber. It's a lot cheaper than a DUI. I promise you that.
I'll tell you a trick too. I mean, you can actually drink, and if you have an Uber light on, they won't pull you over.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I got an Uber light. Plus, I got my DV plates, disabled veteran plates. So I don't know. I've honestly never been pulled over.
Go to the bar, get you one of those neon Uber lights and put on your car, and that way you won't have to call them.
But we're not condoning drinking and driving in any way, shape, or form.
I'm just giving you the Mike Gundy spiel and how Mike Gundy would handle this question.
Texas versus Texas A&M. Jesse Thurman says is his game.
Texas A&M is probably more fierce than Oklahoma because they hate each other for real. Texas A&M hates them so much that they're probably going to join the Big Ten.
Oh my God.
That shit's going to happen. Watch.
Damn.
Justin Goss says, as an OU fan, the game I look forward to is Oklahoma versus Bama, and that game's in Norman this year. So
Alabama's only played there once, and we lost, so we got to check that box. We're going to have to go to Norman and win that game.
Best game, he says, is Bama versus Georgia. It's going to tell a lot about Alabama's football team because that's our first SEC opponent.
So, we did get a week off before that game.
Yeah. We're really good at scheduling our bye weeks.
We played Wisconsin in Madison the week before.
Yeah, most exciting game. Yeah, I agree there. Ohio State at Oregon. That is good. If
I see
Oregon, ooh,
this off topic. Question for Hogpen. I see where Arkansas is playing Pine Bluff this year, right?
Yeah.
Arkansas
Let me
Pine
ask
Bluff.
you,
Yeah.
why don't they? Since they're playing an in-state school, why don't they ever play Arkansas State? Arkansas State.
That is changing next year.
So y'all gonna play them?
So that we're actually going to play them. At least I hope we do because of the way the conference is. I don't know, but it was slated originally for 2025.
I mean, 'cause they're probably the second best team in that state.
The reason behind us not playing Arkansas State for so many years, Frank Broyles, he had it in his mind that he did not want the University of Arkansas embarrassed by little brother.
Right.
So, because how would it look if Arkansas got beat by Arkansas State?
Now, there were a number of years that Arkansas State was really good. Actually, way back in the day, they were a Division I AA powerhouse, so like North Dakota State back in the day.
But that's why, I mean, JPC, that's why Arkansas has not played Arkansas State.
Alabama won't play UAB, so it's the same way here. We won't play UAB in football. We never have played them in football.
Now we've played them in baseball. We've played all the in-state schools in baseball.
Yeah, we have to. But Alabama has never played UAB in football. And we've only played them once in basketball, and we was forced to do that in the NIT game.
Michael says one thing about Riley at USC, I can root for whoever is playing USC every week.
That's great. That's me right here.
I'll tell you one thing. If Colorado doesn't watch it, they're about to find out if they overlook. Do they play South Dakota, right? South Dakota State?
North Dakota.
It's North Dakota State?
North Dakota State.
One of my biggest fans, Brad Staten's in here, and he makes a very legitimate point. He says, we'll take a loss to Texas State or Western Kentucky. And I want to add another team to that, North Texas.
That's the famous kickoff game, right?
Shut up. No, I'm not. No.
Being green.
Oh man, Fred Bagley.
Hey man, Stone Cold Steve Austin went to North Texas. Man, y'all don't be mean to North Texas.
If you look, Brad Bagley says if you look at everyone in the SEC on OU's schedule and they get a bye week before they play OU. I don't know if everyone, but I get what you mean. The big games, yeah, that's what happens when you come to the SEC because you have so many good teams. Yeah, they're going to schedule those bye weeks before you.
Alabama had to file a complaint with the office because everybody was doing that to us.
Yep.
Of course they did because Bama gets everything.
Yeah, even the bad stuff. We get all the bad stuff too.
Cry baby. Never mind.
So everyone gets 2 weeks to prepare for. So welcome to the SEC, Fred Bagley. Welcome to what Alabama's had to deal with for the past 16 years. Yep. Miami might be undefeated in regular season. Mario Cristobal better get his shit together.
You talking about Miami and Ohio?
No, yeah, he must be. Because I don't know if Miami's going to be undefeated. Oh, man.
It's going to be South Carolina and Vanderbilt in the SEC title game.
Shut up, dude. Yeah, so what do you think about – do you think Colorado could lose to North Dakota State?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I saw an article today where they said that Deion Sanders was bitching at the AD for scheduling the game.
There you go. Dylan Madden, looks like you got somebody on here, Zach.
That's my homeboy that's also with me. He helps me run the network. But yes, I called him because I was trying to get logged into StreamYard and I forgot that he's working the night shift this week. So my bad, D.
Look at Miami's schedule.
I will just say this. Let me add this one last comment. Revenge is sweet my ass.
Miami. I'm gonna bring up Miami's schedule on the channel real quick. I said to bring it up.
Miami, Ohio?
No. I'm assuming they're not talking about Miami, Ohio, so you hush me.
That's the Red Hawks, man. Come on. Give the Red Hawks some love, John.
Me.
Come on.
Hush.
Jonathan's a closet Ohio Stank fan.
What? That's something I'll never be, but good luck with that. Do you guys see it?
That in my Caleb Downs jersey.
Hush. All right, so let me back off a little bit. So they got at Florida. They can win that game. Florida A&M for sure. Ball State, South Florida, Virginia Tech. Dear God, you're right. They outside of Florida State. Who does Miami play?
Don't be laughing at South Florida now. They got to go to Tampa. Remember what happened to us?
Yeah, I know. But in all seriousness, Miami's schedule. Man, you look at like Florida's schedule.
They got the in-state rivals down pat, don't they?
You ain't lying.
They even got Florida.
Florida? Yeah, I know. Florida A&M. South, I mean, damn, do they leave the state? Yeah, that's I'm not
for a
going to lie.
non-conference game, I don't think they do.
I don't believe they'll be Florida State.
They play California on the road, don't they?
Yeah, they go at Cal.
Like that's going to scare anybody.
Let's bring up some schedules real quick. Let's bring up.
You know, the Big Ten claims they are all about the AAU stuff, right? Academics and all that good stuff. And yet they invite USC and UCLA and don't invite Cal and Stanford. I think those are the two big academic schools out there.
Yeah. Alabama schedule here: Western Kentucky, South Florida, at Wisconsin, going to Camp Randall. That'd be a fun game to go to.
Yeah, why don't you get us tickets?
Yeah, okay. What do they do? Jump around, right?
Yeah.
Play Georgia at home, at Vanderbilt, South Carolina, at Tennessee, Missouri, at LSU, Mercer, Oklahoma, then Auburn. I think Alabama got kind of let off easy this year. We got Georgia at home. At Tennessee's going to be a tough one. We got Missouri at home, at LSU, I guess no, not really. I mean, and you talked about Georgia. Let's look at their schedule. We didn't really touch on
Alabama does basically get 2 weeks off before Oklahoma because we played Mercer.
Yeah, I know.
You were off.
So Georgia plays Clemson to start the year. Kentucky at Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State at Texas.
Lost.
Damn, okay. They play at Ole Miss, at Texas, at Alabama, and Clemson. Georgia could have a couple losses.
I'm sure they could.
Any schedules you guys would like? Let's bring up. We got some Oregon fans in here.
Your boy Dabo is going to pull the upset of the year.
Dabo, that's number one. I don't like Dabo at all.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Oh my gosh. Oregon schedule. Idaho, Boise State, Oregon State. Yeah, they're going to break in Dylan Gabriel really good at UCLA, Michigan State. So they got, Oregon can definitely win the Big Ten. For sure. Especially since they got Dylan Gabriel.
I got a text message from a friend of mine that said that Biden called Donald Trump his vice president today.
Oh,
That is true. I saw the clip.
so
That dude don't even know who his vice president is, man.
yeah,
Damn, man.
dude, he's got a little age on him.
You think?
A
little? He's got a little age on
Well,
him.
you can be old, man, and still have your faculties, but because Donald Trump's pretty old, but he don't act like that. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, so
Yeah. Oregon has a favorable schedule. Yeah. We used to play Ohio State and Michigan, right? I just looked at it. I can't even remember. That's how tired I am.
Yeah, I feel you
man.
there, dude.
Let's see here. If Oregon can beat Ohio State, then yes, they may win the big. I believe Oregon will be in the playoffs no matter what this year. And I believe if Oregon goes to the playoffs and USC doesn't, I believe that will be the start of the downfall of Lincoln Riley's career. Like officially, it will be the match lit. Because I know I had a few people on my video I made talking about Lincoln Riley's now on the hot seat. And the hot seat doesn't mean you're going to get fired right away. What it means is you better start winning games. Because otherwise you are on a time clock. Lincoln Riley's making $110 million, and he came and outplayed Dan Lanning, who's making, $4.5 million a year, $29 million. I know he got a pay raise recently, but what is it, like $6 million now? But either way. All right. But with that being said, anything else anybody wants to talk about before we get off here? Because we've been on an hour and 40 minutes.
That's all I got, brother.
That's all I got, man.
All right, one last time, start with you, JPC. Tell everybody where they can find you at, bro.
Outlaw of College Football on YouTube, and I'm on Twitter, aka X, at OCF Productions.
Zach?
I'm Razorback Zach from Inside the Hog Pen. You can find us on Facebook, Inside the Hog Pen, HAWG. You can find me on Twitter, Razorback Zach1. On YouTube, we are Sideline Radio Network.
And obviously, this is Neckbeard Sports. My Twitter, X, whatever account is College FB Lewis, at College FB Lewis. Make sure to check out all the channels, all their Twitter accounts and channels will be in the description below as well, including the ticker that's been going across the screen the entire time with all their information. Other than that, I'm going to try to do at least one live stream per week and get some guests on and have some interesting topics like this. Next, we'll have to find another tier to make. But either way, all right, guys, other than that, have a good day. And as always, roll tide.
Woo pig.